Hello. In the words of MC Devo, summer is here and it's fucking buzzing. It's Riggs. Hi, what's going on, man? I have been good. It's hot. It was 33 degrees. Probably is my guess as a human thermometer. I reckon it's 33 degrees this weekend. Went to the beach, put on some fucking banging tunes. Had a barbecue, mate. Fucking with a like that in a bucket, metal bucket full of coal. And I guess you guys know what a barbecue is. The only thing that was missing was Kestrel Super Strength Lager, mate. 10%. When do you need that? At the bottom of the can. I don't know if you guys ever remember Super Strength Lager, like what's the famous one? Carlsberg Super Strength. Is this what the fuck's it called? Carlin Smooth? No. What is it? It doesn't matter. But you know what I'm talking about. Them cans that are like to fucking 10% lager. It tastes like someone's minced down a roast dinner into a can and somehow made it fizzy. It's sort of, you don't swallow it like a liquid. It sort of just slides down the back of your throat like a glacier. It's like global warming in your mouth. It just sort of melts and then just ruins your body, much in the same way that the rising water levels do. At the bottom of the Kestrel Super Strength cans, it says drink responsibly. But what the fuck's that about? Like, as soon as you buy, I think they only sell them as singles, because like when you go into like a craft pub, and they fucking put, like, you can buy a third of that. You can buy a third of a pint of that. You're like, but it's because it's 25%. 25% ale. Here's your knife and fork. Here's your 25% ale. That's solid. That's solid ale, that. You can have a third of a pint of that, because if you drink a pint of it, you will die. It's 2:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday. Drink responsibly. Have your can of Kestrel Super Strength Lager. How many do you want? You want 3 of those? You want 3 of those? Okay, drink them responsibly. I know you've not got all your teeth, and you seem to be wearing what started as a t-shirt, but now is barely a vest. And you've got no shoes on. You're in the shop without any shoes on, but drink that responsibly. You know what I mean? We're not going to sell it to you responsibly. You drink that responsibly. That's on you. There's one called Fax. Do you remember that? Fax. It's got a Viking on it. That's because that's how serious they are. It's got a horned Viking. Horned helmeted Viking on it. That doesn't say drink responsibly anywhere, because it's because they're not trying to con you. They put it on cigarettes now. Smoking kills, but then they hide them away. I don't know who it's for. A bird just tried to come in from my window. Wow, that was cool. I don't know what I'd do if there was actually a bird in here. I'd probably freak out. I'd probably be flapping as much as the bird would be. I'm on mute on my TV. It's Jeff Goldblum at Glastonbury doing some jazz. No one asked him. No one asked for it. I never knew Jeff Goldblum played the jazz piano. He's got zebra legs. That's the thing. He's wearing a jazz hat. You have to have like a pork pie hat when you play jazz, otherwise they don't let you on the stage. I mean, none of the other people. It's because to prove that he's the main one. He's got an Hawaiian shirt, some zebra trousers on, and I had no idea. I'll keep it on mute because I feel like that's the best way. The best way to experience Jeff Goldblum. What are they even called? Jeff Goldblum Experience. The Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Snitzer Orchestra. I don't know who Mildred Snitzer is. There's no one on the stage who looks like a Mildred Snitzer, unless that's what Jeff Goldblum's going as. Is his moniker is Mildred. When I play jazz, I'm Mildred. Call me Mildred. But there's a drummer going mental. I love a jazz drummer. I went on a French exchange We didn't do the exchange though. I did I gave myself to a French family. No trade needed. Do you know what I mean? I was just loaned out by my family to a French family when I was about 12. I lived in Northern Ireland, and they teamed me up. They twinned me with sort of this French dude because they asked you at my school. They asked you there. It was in Amiens, Strasbourg. They asked you. Was it? I don't know. I think so. No, I feel like no. That was the. I'm getting two French trips muddled together. I went on one with college to Amiens, and I can't remember where this dude lived. In France, though. It was definitely France, because they're giant coffee cups in his house. And they were all speaking French. That's one of the things that gave it away. Because they asked you what your interests are, and I put as my interests... I was a child, by the way, but I put as my interest... I played a flute. That's true. When I was a kid, I was given the choice when I was about 10, given the choice of flute, clarinet, or guitar. And like an absolute rock star, I chose the flute. So like Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull is the only flautist I can think of off the top of my head. There is a comedian on the circuit from New Zealand, I believe, called Richard Lindsay, and he plays the flute. He does flute-based comedy. He might be the only one. Maybe not. Maybe. I feel like he might be the only one. But I chose the flute. So it was one of my main interests. Was the flute. I had a lot going on in my life then. Do you know what I mean? You'd come home. What did you do in the evening? I was a flautist. I flouting the flute all night long with the ladies, obviously, when I was 10. Best way to a girl's heart, that is a really shrill, high-pitched wind instrument. Wind. That's what the girls like. Fucking wind, mate. And one of my other interests as well. 2 interests I put down. I put down as I had arachnophobia as an interest, which is mental, isn't it? One of the things I like to do is be scared of spiders. What are you up to today? I'm just going to be scared of spiders. But are there any spiders? No, man. But like, I'll be looking out for them, and if one does come, I'll run away. That's what I'm doing today, and I haven't got time for anything else. So why don't you just go back home with your football and that? I'm not playing. I'm being scared of spiders today. So they teamed me up with French people are renowned for being cool. Like they smoke cigarettes, they can pull off a vest. You know what I mean? The only nation who can wear onions and a beret. And if I tried to I left my house with onions and a beret on, people would be like, "Why are you wearing onions and a beret?" Whereas the French, traditionally, they can garland themselves with onions. That's the thing. So I could have written anything because as a child, I quite like football. I was sort of into judo. I used to do judo. What else did I like? Probably nerdy stuff. I used to be quite into the Warhammer a little bit. You're not allowed to say that though because you lose all your friends when you say that out loud. But I like music. Like I was into my dad's music then, which was like Pink Floyd. I believe we've already gone over the music. But could have said anything. Could have been into all sorts of stuff. No, but I put down flute and arachnophobia. They teamed me up with a French guy, inexplicably also put down flute and arachnophobia. He might not have put arachnophobia, but I went to his house. We didn't become friends. Needless to say, I gave him a Great British crunching slide tackle in his back garden on like day 3, and almost broke his leg. Which isn't what you want to do when you're at someone's house. They were luckily his parents were English speakers, so I didn't have to do a whole lot of French talking. Apart from one meal, they brought around all of their family, their cousins, aunties, grandparents and stuff, just loads of people. And they were like, "You're not during the course of this meal. You're not allowed during your French, English, workbooks or any sort of help, and you're gonna have to talk in French for the whole meal. But they kept like asking me stuff like specifically, and then the whole table would be quiet and look at me, and wait for my laboured and response where I was just trying to say something like really mundane, like pass me that bread, je voudrais du pain. Pass me the bread. Is that right? I know. I would like the bread. It's quite. Je voudrais. Is that the rude way of saying? I don't know. There's two different kinds of French we got taught at school. One is super rude, and one's polite. It is feminine. Je voudrais du pain, but I probably ended up saying like "Où est la bibliothèque?" Or something like that. Which is, and they were like, "Why are you asking us about the library? We're having dinner." And I'd be like, "You have put me in this position, and I only know the words for police station, commissariat, discothèque, boulangerie, vélo, piscine, rue de la Gare." Yeah. I like commissariat. I work at the commissariat. Yeah. French crime novels. If I was a French crime writer, I would make them always return to the police station at all costs, or talk about the police station. I'd get him to be like, "Oh yeah, I remember like this crime before back at the commissariat. We used to do that all the time," and I'll get the other character to be like, "Where did you say that was?" And I'd be like, "The commissariat," and every second sentence would have commissariat in it, I feel. But yeah, we didn't really get on. So all my other friends went to like cool houses with people like Pierre and stuff like that. I don't know why my voice goes deeper for French. I'm sure there's some high-pitched French speakers in the world. Oh look, there's a woman that's come out on Jeff Goldblum. Maybe that's Mildred Snitzer. She looks like she's very into singing jazz. I like it. Mavis Staples is coming up in a bit. Genuine legend. But anyway, my friends had a really cool French pals, and they would swap like swear words with them, whereas I just kind of sat on my own. I did get introduced to EJ Club World. Then I remember EJ Club World. He had it on the PC, which is like a making your own dance music computer game, which was fucking great. I'd never seen it before, and I felt like I was a music producer whilst inserting all those samples that everyone was using. But EJ, that was my first introduction to EJ. So thanks, French man. If you're listening, I don't know who you are, and you probably can't remember who I am, but sorry about your leg. But thanks for introducing me to EJ Club World. I ended up getting it on the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. So what was that? I had a PlayStation, but then I had a PlayStation again, but little. Do you remember that? We've released the PlayStation again, but it's little. Nothing else has changed. But the PlayStation is little. Not tiny, but just little. PS1. Yeah, they just called that the PS1. Am I talking? Is this correct? I'm not sure. But, yeah, and that was the first time I ever watched the film Armageddon. And I used to love Armageddon so much as a child. If I knew that it would then make me still have a nostalgic love for the film Armageddon now, maybe I would never have watched it to begin with. Because whenever people talk about films in the 90s and they say, "What's your favourite film?" and they say stupid shit like Pulp Fiction or Trainspotting or, like Jurassic Park, which to be fair is up there for me. Films like that. I say stupid shit, which makes me look like a bellend, like Armageddon. I remember they were all being French in the kitchen and the dining room, and I went on my own and watched Armageddon in French with English subtitles, and I shed a little tear for Bruce Willis. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, Bruce Willis lamps Ben Affleck in the face, says, "You look after Gracie," and Gracie is Liv Tyler's character name, and then punches Ben Affleck in the face so that Bruce Willis can sacrifice himself on the nuclear missile-laden asteroid before it destroys the whole of the world. Shed a little tear whilst I was reading that in English because it was in French, the speaking. So I thought that his lines in the film were so emotional that even just reading them caused me to shed a little tear. And I feel like if I watched it right now, maybe I'd shed a little tear again for Brucey. Bruce Willis is another person who does music. He sings really cheesy sort of swinging like rock and roll. I don't know why all the actors can only do sort of ridiculous music or like music like Pasto's music, like show music. They're always like a crooner. Isn't Kiefer Sutherland a crooner? Something like that. Kiefer Sutherland, fucking Jeff Goldblum, looking like half a zebra. Bruce Willis, that Matt, someone from the original, no, from the IT crowd, Matt something. He does music, but they always do music from the Pastos. Johnny Depp is in that band, isn't he? That sort of 80s rock band. You never see like an actor just knocking out some like grime or whatever, do you? Speaking of grime, I watched Stormzy at the old Glastonbury. I wasn't there because I haven't got £17 million, but I watched it on the old iPlayer and it was, I really liked it. I would have been up there with the, there's going to be, I want to know what the increase, after Glastonbury, the increase of middle-class G&T mums who are now grime fans because of Stormzy's set. Do you know what? I just don't really like Stormzy. I don't know why middle-class mums talk like grannies, but they do. But like, there's gotta be, I reckon, a spike, a 60% increase in grime fans. People who will only have listened to that Stormzy set. Maybe they have bought an album of his. But that's good though, isn't it? That's the whole point of, I guess the whole point of you get to headline Glastonbury because you've got that sort of mass appeal, and then you get to appeal to even more of the mass. Because I certainly I remember I listened to that song "Shut Up," where he tells us to shut up over and over again. Shut up, right? And then that one about Brandy, Vossi Bop, film that I watched the video for the first time. Just doing a little dance on London Bridge. That's cool. It must have shut up. But we're shutting off London Bridge rush hour. It looked quite early in the morning. Like you can't go to. It was because Big Ben's all underneath scaffolding, so it must have been within the last year or two. You can't drive down there. Stormzy's doing a rap about Brandy. Stormzy's rapping about Brandy. A lot of people kicked off about Stormzy's set, said it was boring. I think the people who said that are boring. You see a lot of lineups now, especially for things like Leeds Festival and that. And people are like, festivals have really gone downhill. I don't know who any of these people are. And then to them, I say, it's not for you. Do you know what I mean? You still listen to Blink 182, probably. You listen to music from your youth. And I remember music used to have guitars in it. Great. That's cool, man. I'm sure there's people who remember when music used to have loops in it. Look, he's got a loop. Look, that guy's headstock doesn't do a 90-degree angle at the end. I'm not listening to that. That man hasn't even got on a cravat. Do you know what I mean? Where is everyone's cod pieces? I will not listen to any music that's not performed in a chamber. You know what I mean? It's not for you. I would like to have a quick look at the Leeds Festival lineup now, quickly, actually. Yeah, I like Stormzy's set. I listen to some rap music. Don't get me wrong. I like Aesop Rock. I've listened to some fucking NWA. I've watched Boys in the Hood, and then I've watched Menace to Society, and then I've walked around a tiny village in Yorkshire, listening to Eminem, thinking that I was pretty gangster, mate. Let me just look at Leeds. I'm gonna go Leeds. I'm not. Do you know? I'm a PRist. It might not be a PR, but I'm from the north, so I don't fuck with Reading, mate. I know it's the same lineup, just on different days, but I'm gonna search Leeds Festival exclusively. Leeds Festival lineup. Let's have a look here. Artists. You see. Let's go. The Foo Fighters. I've only been there once. The Foo Fighters headline then. Do the Foo Fighters headline every single year? Is that right? Is that a thing? Right. Who have we got in? Foo Fighters. There you go. They're all right. They are. What would our? Because I'm the generation earlier than this one. I'm 32. I guess our Foo Fighters would have been like Oasis. Maybe like the band that were like massive just before we were. I mean, they were still the Foo Fighters. I think my Foo Fighters would probably be Oasis. Who have we got here? A Day to Remember. The main stage is pretty heavy for on a Friday. The main stage, because normally I would imagine these bands are mostly. So not the Foo Fighters, but most of these bands on the main stage are shoved on the rock tent or whatever. But we've got A Day to Remember. I've never listened to them, but I know they're like an emo band or a hardcore band or something. And then Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. Frank Carter's that dude who used to be in he's shouting at the Rude Boys. What's that band? Shouting at the Rude Boys. I can't remember what they're called. He's got ginger hair and he's got tattoos. He's that guy. The Distillers. That's fucking Brody Dahl. That's good, man. I like the Distillers a lot. There's something about that fucked on heroin Australian drawl that is for some reason 70% louder in the mix than any of the music that I just really like. I quite liked Drain the Blood. That album, Coral Fang. Is that the album? Coral Fang. And then the Sing Sing Death House. It's good, man. We used to listen to that quite a lot when I was a kid. Little Uzi Vert. Now, if he isn't a rapper, then my name isn't David Charles Regan. Little Uzi Vert. He's little, because you have to be Lil. Little Bow Wow. Oh, God. Little Peep. Is that a guy? My friend Alex Mason keeps saying Little Peep to me all the time. Hey, I might have got he might not be a Lil, but Little Uzi is a gun. Yeah, that's good. That's a good rapper name, actually. He's gone little, as in I'm a rapper, but I'm not big. I'm a little rapper, so I'm gonna add a Lil. Uzi, because that's a gun, and rappers like the guns. The rappers love a gun. Little Uzi, and then what? Vert. I associate Vert with skateboarding, a skateboarding ramp. So a little gun ramp. I like tiny gun ramp. Hey, so in between and then May Day parade. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just a May Day parade. I mean, it's at the end of August. Do you know what? Just before tiny gun ramp, can we have just a May Day parade? We're gonna erect a maypole on the main stage at Leeds. We're just going to have children dancing around it, tying all the maypole together. We're going to have a king and queen of the May festival. They're going to judge the whole thing. We're going to put Youngblood, Milk Teeth, Enter Shikari. We're going to have Enter Shikari go on. Then we're going to have a May Day festival. Is everyone down with this? It was either May Day or Jeff Goldblum's Mildred Orchestra. And then after that, we're going to have a rapper called Tiny Gun Ramp. That's day one. Day two, the day starts with I don't know how, but they found me. Is a band name. I don't know how, but they found me. There's a band that used to be called And They Shall Know Us by the Trail of the Dead. And They'll Know Us by the Trail of Dead is a band. And then they had a guitarist who had a bag on his head with a question mark on it. And he was like called He Who Shall Not Be Named. I'm pretty sure that what I've said there is right, is correct. I don't know how, but they found me. It's opening. Hi, I don't know how, but they found me. Everyone's like, what? Is that your name? Yeah, it's our name. Oh, look, welcome to the stage. I don't know how, but they found me. It's catchy, man. And then Twin Atlantic is on next, which sounds like a shipping company. Charlie XCX. I like Jamie XX. Are they related? I think so. In Roman numerals, I think that's Charlie 1110. Is that right? XCX? Are there any Romans listening? There's a Roman centurion out there who's not... Stop, get out your turtle formation and come over here and tell me if XCX means that 1,110. Charlie 1,110. I think that's right. I didn't do any Roman numeral lessons at school. Juice World. Next up is Juice World. But instead of putting an O in world, they haven't. Do you reckon they've done that on purpose? Probably. Juice World. I like that. That's a good... What did you do? We just juice. Maybe they just juice stuff. Juice, like, different stuff from around the world. Yumi at 6. I've heard about those. I believe they're one of the ones that started off as a rock band during that emo sort of hardcore bit of time. And now they've gone on to just be a pop band. A bit like Panic at the Disco have. Then the Wombats, who would be much better if they were Wombats, but they're people, and they have... I remember they were like one of those indie bands from the past. Are the Wombats the What's That Coming Over the Hill? Is It a Monster? Which sounds like a band that could be opening Leeds Festival. Up next, we've got What's That Coming Over the Hill? Is It a Monster? Followed by I Don't Know How, But They Found Me. And then after that, Little Uzi Vert. And then headlining is Royal Blood from here. They're from Brighton. I believe that I've seen them when I was at uni on posters, just playing at like above pubs and stuff. Royal Blood. And that's cool. I heard that David Attenborough called the Queen a cunt or something. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing a bit. But didn't he say something that the Queen was like a bell end or... The Queen is a bell end. I believe that's what he did. Let's see. Counterfeit. Alma. Against the Current. The Hunter. I believe they're like a new metal band, aren't they? The Hunter. A.G. Tracy. Anderson .Paak. Blossoms. Anyway, that's Leeds Festival. And a lot of people would look at that and just be like, Leeds Festival's really gone downhill. I mean, they got the Foo Fighters, fair enough. Royal Blood, fair enough. But where are all the people that I know? Because I'm a mid-30s man, and I want all the festivals to still cater to me. There is festivals for you, mate. There is festivals for you. There's Hard Rock Hell AOR. Adult-orientated rock. Adult-oriented rock. That's for you. You see you complaining about Leeds. You see you who hates Stormzy. You bloody hate Stormzy and you fucking hate Leeds Festival because Billie Eilish is on one of the stages and you don't know who the fuck that is. Get yourself down to Wales, mate. Go to the AOR Festival and watch ELO at the AOR. Do you know what I mean? That's what you want to do. And you think that's somehow better. It's not. We're watching rappers with names named after guns and ramps, and you are watching Dire Straits. Do you know what I mean? They have the F word in one of their songs, and we only like N words now Not me. I'm being somebody who likes rap music. I'm not an N-word fan. I shouldn't keep saying them things. Bowling for Soup are there. A Bowling for Soup. Are they still doing that song, The Girl All the Bad Guys want? Because that would suck ass. Imagine having to do that now. I used to think that about The Who. When he goes, people try to put us down. And I know he's pretending to have it because I think he had Roger Daltrey, trout farmer Roger Daltrey, used to have a speech impediment in the past. And I feel like his teachers told him that he wasn't allowed it or something. And I think that's why he did it in the song. But it must have just got annoying. Like, he must have got a bit older and was like, I would have just sang that normally because I just want to sing it normally at gigs. I don't want to be a knob and have to sing it like that. Would it be better if Dire Straits got to the bit in that Money for Nothing song where they were talking about... where they said some homophobic slurs? Do you think that they're just like, I stick by that. It was of the time. I feel like we should still sing it. What do they do now? I want to know what they do. I want to know, do they go past that? Have they ever been interviewed about it? What did they just? What's probably happened is they just to pretend that they never did that, even though it's one of the most famous recordings of all time. Somehow still, Sting was there as well, wasn't he? He should know better, doesn't he? He's another guy who is playing old. He plays the lute, doesn't he? He plays on the old lute. Yeah. Give me one sec. There's a guy on headline in one of the bottom stages called Hobo Johnson. I like that. That's cool. Anyway, I'm done looking at that festival. I don't know. I'm just gonna quickly look see what's going on at the old Glasgows. Oh, it's Mavis Staples, man. She looks class. I tell you what, I wanna be Mavis Staples, more than I want to be Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Switzer. Is that right? The Mildred Snitzer Orchestra. I'd rather be Mavis Staples of the Staples Singers, the Staples Sisters. I think that'd be cool, man. She must be well old. She looks well good, man. She looks fucking quality. Yeah. She's still a 10. Nah, I love Mavis Staples. Good times. People keep coming up to me and saying, by the way, this is the Alkaline podcast. My name's Riggs. This is the podcast where I attempt to get clean or die trying. And clean is still, thankfully, winning. Sober Time says that I'm on over 5 weeks now. I'm on 1 month, 9 days, 17 hours, 24 minutes and 13 seconds and counting. And it's been, I like it now. I like it more. It's summer, it's really fucking hot. And I've been down the beach. And normally I'd either be drunk or hungover. And I've just been absolutely fine. I've been able to soak it in. I've been able to have conversations with people. I've been able to wake up and not be like, oh my God, the sun is too much. I must stay in my house. I just wanting to go out a lot more. It's good. It's a much better way to live. And you can have just as much fun. And everything's fine. Like, you can actually have fun for longer because after a while, you just fall out on the floor. Or no one wants to talk to you anymore because you're not making any sense, or you're being sexually inappropriate. That wasn't really my style, sexual inappropriateness. But some people are. You know who you are. I'm talking to you in particular over there. Do you know behind? You're being sexually inappropriate right now. Would you just stop it? Why are you listening to this and also being sexually inappropriate? That you're a bad man. You're a bad man. Stop what you're doing. People keep coming up to me and saying, you look really well. Like, you've got this, like, sort of, you're just radiating positivity and that. I don't feel that much different, to be honest. This must be what it's like when you're pregnant. Apart from, you must be very aware that there's some dude in you. Got a dude in me. Just fucking milling about and that, doing tasks and that. If the numbskulls were real, imagine there just being a baby in there, they'd be like, "Fuck me, that is a giant baby in there." Do you know what I mean? The numbskulls who work in the womb skulls, the numb womb skulls, having to tend to this giant baby must be mental for them. I used to love the numbskulls. I wanted to work in the brain, the eyes bit of the numbskulls. Man. In that guy that numbskulls worked in, I would like to have worked in the eyes, but I would have probably been like in the rectum or balls. Get in the balls, dude. Get in the balls. Or like the sole of the foot. I don't know what they would do there, but just go down there, make sure everything's fine. But I don't feel that much different. And I was thinking that like, you just sort of get used to looking at yourself. I feel like I've lost some of that beer weight, you know, like, not that I was like giant before, but like there was definitely like a bit of an overhang, like at the start of the film Cliffhanger, had a bit of an overhang going on, which has sort of reduced a bit. It could be in my mind though, because I feel like your body image is a lot like what you perceive it to be. So like if I looked in the mirror, I felt pretty bad about myself, I'd be like, look at the size of you, you're as big as a sort of house. Whereas now I feel like I've got not as much shame about all aspects of my life. I would look at myself and be like, you look like a normal person. Normal, non-residential building sized person. But I feel like you just sort of get used to what you look like. Like if you started wearing a stupid hat all the time, eventually it wouldn't be a stupid hat to you and you'd be fine. But everyone else who's just seeing you for the first time will be like, that dude has got a stupid hat on. And that's what I feel about people who wear double denim. Because they wear double denim all the time. So they must be like, this is just my clothes. Whereas everyone you walk past is like, that dude is in double denim right now. Just walking about like it's the Midwest of America. But it's not. It's fucking Hove or whatever. It's not. You're in Slough. It's double denim in Slough. Has he got a gun in his back? Is that in a holster or something? Double denim in Slough. Shouldn't really be allowed. Wow, there's a baby going nuts out there. Might have just seen a man walk past in double denim. But my point is that you should be I mean, you dress for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, but be aware that you might look like a bit of a tell. I dress like a bit of a knob. But I'm fine with that. I feel like I want people to look at me. Subconsciously though, I just like, I don't know. I've started to wear loud shirts and hats and stuff. Not loud hats, but just hats and stuff. Oh, wait a second. So I've just started doing it now. Like, I think I've got to the stage with this stopping doing all the booze and that. I think I've got to the stage where I prefer the not drinking. Like, getting a lot more done. I just feel a lot better about myself. Days are more consistent. Like, a lot more ups and downs in the past. But like, not just because you've done dickheadish things when you've been pissed, but like because I guess it just stays in your system or whatever, and just affects your sort of mood, and you can't remember some things, and your time goes all weird. Whereas I wake up now and I'm like, I feel fine for one, feel absolutely fine. It's real sunny outside, you know. I'm not overly oppressed by the heat because of a hangover or anything. And then I've got energy, and you know, I've probably had an all right amount of sleep, maybe, not always, but yeah, it's better. So cool, nice. What's happening now? There's still Mavis Staples rocking out. There's an old man playing a bass. He's not that old. Yeah, she's still absolutely loving it. 1 second. Now, if you want a real fucking festival, man, I'm not saying that no, these aren't real festivals, but if you want another good festival, go to Primavera Sound. I'd love. My dream is to go to Primavera Sound in Barcelona because the lineups are always insane. I know they've got things for like even you AOR festival of adult orientated rock people. It's because they've even got things for you. They've got Primal Scream there. They've got Swayze there. They've got fucking Carcass are there. They've got all sorts of stuff, but they've also got fucking banging things. Got Mac DeMarco's there, Interpol are there, fucking Steve Malcolmus is there, Danny Brown, Courtney Barnett, Stiff Little Fingers, classic punk band. I just saw Anastasia, but I think that's that's just the first name of a different person. Gangsta Boo, I don't know who that is, but that sounds great. Tame Impala, Miley Cyrus, fucking Carly Rae Jepsen, who's the Call Me Maybe person. Pond, a great band. Beak, Low, Joy Orbison, Solange, fucking Stereolab are there. It's fucking great. Mode Selector, Pusha fucking T, Built to Spill, man. I'd go to this. I'd go to this festival, Shellac. I'd go to this festival in an absolute heartbeat. I don't know how much it costs. Probably like £17 million. I've never been to a festival on the continent before. I'd love to go to one. Like, there's this one that they called Snow Bombing. Is that real? I feel like it is, man. And like, it's like kind of dance music, but I'm pretty sure like things like Deftones have played there. It's like a on a snowboarding resort or something. Snow Bombing. It looks class. Can someone take me to one? Like, just pay for it and I'll go. And you can. I don't want to go with you. You can stay here, and I'll go to snow bombing on your dime. I'll tell you all about it. I'll take some photos of stubby white, quite white, full of snow, and we'll go. It'll be good. Oh, I'm so tired. This sun. One thing about you will say about the sun is it does get to you, doesn't it, man? Makes you tired, but it's nice. It's good. Been gigging every day. Comedy's been being good to me at the moment. I had a fucking amazing gig on Friday at a place called the Poets Ale and Smokehouse, which is a real cool little pub in Hove, and it was full of people who really wanted to watch comedy and really laughed at my performance, which is cool. A lot of my friends came too, which is nice. My friend called Egg, got a friend named Egg. She came with her sister Eve, and then lots of other friends came too. It was very good fun. And obviously we did Up the Creek last Monday, so I can't tell you how it was apart from it was fucking really good fun. And I've got gigs coming up, dude. I've got gigs doing some new material shit today. Going to Worthing tomorrow. If anyone's in Worthing, I'm going to the Charles Dickens tomorrow for doing some stand up in the Charles Dickens, which I believe is just right near the seafront. So if you're a Worthing person and you're listening to this on Tuesday morning, which is when it will be available to listen to, if you're like, fancy that, go to the Charles Dickens. I think it's free. Go to that. Then we're starting to wind down for the summer a little bit because, you know, I've got a little fam-a-lam. So we're going to do family stuff throughout the summer. But we still got the Verdict coming up on the 11th of July. Tickets still available for that. Get them from Roxanne at the Verdict. Google that. Come to the Verdict on Edward Street in Brighton on the 11th of July. Great fucking lineup. Your boy is there as well on the bill, so come to that. And then we're going up to London a couple more times to try out. I'm working on this bit, which is about the sort of story of the home birth I had with my second kid, my son Ivor. We had a home birth, which was sort of a bit like kind of like a comedy of errors, but lots of stuff went sort of tits up during the procedure. It was got a bit slapstick birth. If you can imagine that. It was a slapstick birth. But I'm doing it I'm trying to work on it as a bit. So maybe one day if you come and watch me perform stand-up comedy. You can see that live. Yeah, man. And what have we spoke about? We talked about apparatus at Primavera Sound. That's fucking cool too. We spoke about all sorts of stuff today. I'm probably gonna have a little nap. I don't know if you can tell by my voice. It's a bit slurry because I have been fucking just out on trains and just going to and from just comedy nights all across the South Coast for all last week and then again all this week, which is how you want to live. That's exactly how you want to live. But boy, does it make you want to go to bed during the day. But it's a fun way to live, and I have chosen to live like it. Hopefully one day they'll let me sleep. But yeah, I am Riggs. This is the Alkaline podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to check out, last week I did some little podcast plugs. There's another podcast I've listened to now. It's called Rob Mulholland Has an Opinion, where this Leeds professional comedian from Leeds, he now lives in Brighton. He's not from Leeds though. I think he's from near Manchester. He's from around. I think he's from North Yorkshire actually, Knaresborough. But he does these short little podcasts that last like 10 minutes, which is probably what I should have done, but I've made you sit here for 45 minutes. Where he just has opinions about stuff. Rob Mulholland Has an Opinion. Check out that podcast. It's very good. I listen to it every week. So cool. Nice one. Thanks for listening. It's been a bit incoherent, but well, I don't care. I'll see you in a week.